Greetings, gaming citizens. Mike here. It is finally time to go back to our Nintendo Direct predictions video. The easiest video for me to make, that's for damn sure. It's finally time to get back to business. After we've had the Switch 2 launch, hype cycle, Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, Bonanza, all that's out of the way. Yeah, we're getting back to the regular stuff, because July, we kind of had a shadow-dropped partner showcase, which was pretty good. But now we're getting back to kind of the regular grind of, September Direct, probably back to February, and then regular June Directs again, now that they're not waiting to release the Switch 2 anymore. So, according to Video Games Chronicle, supposedly, this Direct is going to air September 12th, and we'll get into what's significant about that in just a few minutes. But without further ado, let's dive in to the first-party stuff. So, Metroid Prime 4. I'm checking my watch, my invisible watch here, because Nintendo, you're running out of time on showing the release date. What's going on? Was 8 years not long enough to polish up this game? Or blink twice if you need help? What's going on? So hopefully we get something about Metroid Prime 4's release date. Considering other games are coming out within the holiday season, we really don't have a lot of wiggle room. We've got Pokemon Legends ZA in, I believe, October. So that leaves November, December, the holiday season. That's where the big bucks are made, typically. Yeah, you got November and December. Maybe October if you want to be crazy. But it's probably those latter 2 months. So pick your poison, Nintendo. We've been waiting. Next, we've got Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. I'm hoping to see a little more on gameplay. After the last trailer they showed off, I was left kind of wanting more. It felt more cinematic than anything. I think the big reveal of that trailer was, you could play as Rauru, which, go figure. They were, a pretty significant character in Tears of the Kingdom, and this is the Imprisoning War, that just kind of makes sense. So if we could see more about, what does the gameplay look like? Did they change things up from Age of Calamity? Are there other, side modes like there were in the original Hyrule Warriors? Just kind of want to get more of an idea of what to expect, from that game. And also a release date, because right now it is just set for holiday 2025. So, again, you either got November or December. Pick your poison, Nintendo. So, the next one I have is not necessarily a game, but it is news about Mario's 40th anniversary. So, the original Super Mario Bros. Came out on September 13th, 1985, meaning that this Direct would hypothetically launch on September 12th. That's a day before. I'd be concerned if Nintendo had nothing planned, considering that the 13th is a Saturday. This Direct would be releasing on a Friday, which I'm pretty sure is unprecedented for a Nintendo Direct. So they would have to show something about Mario 40th, because they can't just throw a Mario 40th Direct on a Saturday. Or I guess they could, but definitely be a little strange for Nintendo. So I want to see something about Mario 40th. Can we even expect a new Mario game, within the next year? Because wasn't the team behind 3D Mario also behind Bonanza? I have no doubt that Nintendo could work on multiple games at once, but I feel like a lot of their resources were spent on DK Bonanza, so if there's another 3D Mario, hell yeah, but not sure if I should get my hopes up. Not sure what to expect. So, Miyamoto, let's hear what you got to say for that. I would very much like to know. That's about all the first-party stuff I have out of the way, because Nintendo doesn't really have much else coming out for the rest of the year. We do have Kirby Air Riders, but that just recently had its own dedicated Direct, so we don't really need anything else about that. We have a release date for that and everything. So it's time to dive into the third-party stuff. So for the stuff that is just coming out from now until Q1 2026, I just have a few bullet points that we're gonna breeze through these real quick. So we got Lego Party, which was shown off at Summer Game Fest. I feel like this would make an appearance in the Switch Direct. because it feels like one of those games that Nintendo would show off. Yeah, it's a family-friendly title. It's accessible for most people. It's a party game. Nintendo is known for their party games. The only thing I can think of that would make it not show up is the release date would be too close, or it would be like a direct comparator to Mario Party, because it's basically Mario Party but Lego. So maybe Nintendo would just be like, hey, it's a little too similar to what we're doing, so get that little blocky stuff out of there. Who knows? But I feel like that would make an appearance. Next, we got SpongeBob SquarePants, Titans of the Tide. Again, it's a family-friendly children's game. It would show up in a Nintendo game. They always have like one or two random like licensed games or games based off of licensed properties that show up in Easter eggs. So I feel like this would be the game to show up there. Next, we got Tales of Xillia Remastered. This was announced by Bandai Namco on August 19th, I believe, on the anniversary of the anniversary of the Tales series. I almost said Trails. So this is the next game to be remastered after Tales of Grace's F, I believe. So I think Nintendo would show this off just to be like, hey, another cool RPG coming to the Switch. Yippee. Next, we got Toxic Crusaders. Just a fun little game that I thought would make for good insert into a Nintendo Direct. Just seems like one of those like unapologetically like Saturday morning cartoon looking what do you even call it? Franchise? It's not even a franchise. Well, I guess there were films, but basically Toxic Crusaders just has that nostalgic look to it, giving very like 80s, 90s, I suppose. Basically, I think it would show up in Nintendo Direct just for that. Next, we have Good Night Universe. I was looking at just the release calendar for what games are coming out this year, and I came across this, and it's coming out for Switch, I believe. And it's a fascinating title. You're a 6-month-old baby developing mysterious psychic powers. I don't know, I feel like it's one of those, like, kind of out there games that Nintendo would show off to be like, look at this quirky stuff coming to Nintendo Switch. So I figured they would probably put it in a Direct. I feel like that just kind of makes sense for the type of game it is, you know? Yeah, I'm really scraping the bottom of the barrel for game release calendars at this point. Next, we got R-Type Delta HD Boosted. Not really much logic behind this other than it's coming out soon, in like November-ish, I believe. It's just a... what do you call it? Bullet hell? It's just a bullet hell game. There's an audience for that on Switch, I'm pretty sure. I just think they would throw it in there as part of like a sizzle reel or something. And then we have Duskbloods, which they mentioned in the Switch 2 reveal, but haven't really talked about it since. I'm not sure what's going on. Like, you know, like how far along is it? Can we expect to hear more about it soon, like in 2025, or are they saving it for 2026? You know, like I'm kind of curious to see what the world of Duskbloods is like. So if we could get more info on this game, that would be very nice. And then the last category I have is ports. So I feel like Nintendo is going to go all in on ports coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Just so that they could be like, look, this game is running on the Switch 2. Wow, boy howdy. We really did it. I'm borrowing some of these from my games that I want on Switch 2 video, by the way. Give that a watch if you haven't already. So, first is Red Dead Redemption 2. Award-winning action-adventure game from RockStar. I feel like this just would work as a Switch 2 port. I feel like it would get some heads turning. Not to mention, the first game is already on Nintendo Switch, so just having the duology on Switch, the Switch family of systems, I guess, would be just nice to have both of them together. Next is Metaphor ReFantazio. So in the partner showcase that premiered in July, they showed that Persona 3 Reload was coming to Switch 2, which is pretty exciting. But I felt like Metaphor ReFantazio would have also been a really good inclusion. Just another really good JRPG from Atlas. That's kind of the logic behind it. I didn't see it in the last Direct, so naturally I'm going to expect it to be in this one. There's no logic behind it. So a point that I made on my Games I Want on Switch 2 video, mentioning that quite a bit right now, the rest of the Dark Souls series, I figured, why not put those on Switch? So the first Dark Souls game, when it was remastered for Switch 1, didn't quite perform very well, sales-wise. So I'm not expecting them to put it on Switch 2, but it just, I don't know, it just kind of irks me that only the first Dark Souls game is on Switch, and then Dark Souls 2 and 3 just kind of don't exist. I don't know. I mean, FromSoft is probably too busy working on Duskbloods right now, but hopefully this is at least a thought in their mind or in their wheelhouse at all. A game that I feel like would make a lot of sense for Switch or Switch 2 is Peak. It's a massively popular, like unprecedented, successful indie game that is just about climbing mountains. It's pretty cool. I've seen some online friends of mine play it, and it looks pretty fun. And it seems like the kind of game that would be compatible with the Nintendo Switch audience. So that would be pretty cool to see on Switch. And then last but not least, I have Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Critically acclaimed RPG. Just would be cool to see on Switch too. There's really no other logic behind that one. Yeah, that's the only reason I wrote it down. But that's about everything that I have for my predictions. I gotta say, it's weird to not have to mention Silksong in these videos anymore. So I really need to find a new punchline. But I want to know what you expect to see in this upcoming hypothetical September Direct. Do you think we're even going to get one? And if we are, what would you like to see that I didn't mention in this video? Let me know in the comments down below. That's going to be it for me. Stay vibing and thriving, everyone, and I will see you in the next one.